Hi, this is Marcus, and today we are going to learn how to create chips. Chips, they are used, let me show you where we can use them. For instance, when we have some situation like this, I'm using my mobile application. Let's suppose that this application is for traveling, right? And then in some section, in some step of my flow, I need to select, I'm going to travel to visit many countries. And in some part of my flow, I need to decide which countries I want to visit. So in this case, I can select Brazil. If I tap once, if I tap one more time, Brazil will be unselected, right? Here it's selected. If I type again, it will be unselected. And I can select many chips like Brazil, France, India, USA, Angola, and so on. And after I do that, I can go next to the another page, another part of my flow to solve another problems, let's say this way. So chips, they are used in this situation when I need to select many parameters, many, it's a sort of filter. You know, it's better to explain this way. It's a sort of filter. I go tapping and tapping and tapping, then I can select all that I need. So we are going to learn how to create those chips. So we will learn how to create those states. We have two types here. We have with icon and without icon. Here, without icon, if you prefer, you can have something more centralized that can be better like this, right? And then we can do that in all our elements, our components with icons. So we have here the states, selected, unselected, selected, disabled, because some situations, some corner cases, or when we didn't select what we need, we can't proceed, and the buttons, they will be like this: selected, disabled, and unselected, disabled. We have all those states, right? We can have less, we can have more, but in this tutorial we are going to create these 4 states. Then we will think a little like atoms, right? I love to think as atoms. They are really useful. I have all elements separated here, shapes, texts, and so on. Then we join the atoms, and then we have molecules, right? We combine molecules, we can have organisms, right? It's always hard to pronounce organisms. I will train more that. And then we have templates, you know, a placeholder for title, the components, placeholder for button, and the screen with all the elements. Then finally we have pages with populated data, you know, real data. Okay, let's jump into this first part. Let's make the states, right? So we start actually with atoms. So we need to create this little shape here, 112 by 32. So 112 by 32. Press R, draw something like this. You can decide what color to use, some sort of blue. I'm using this one here. You can pause the video and you can have the same blue I'm using here. And now 112 by 32. 24 for border radius, and we have this background done here. Let's name it properly. Then we have the label, right? The size is 14, regular, and the font family, you decide what font you want to use. Label 14, I will go with Roboto or Poppins. I have Poppins installed. Good. Poppins is a little bolder, a little round, so I prefer to diminish a little. Let's see how things go together. We can centralize and centralize. Let's measure that. You know, we have top padding, it's 8. We have the bottom pad, it's 8 too. And then we can increase like this. When we see those red axes, we are well aligned. And here the same one, we can go like this way. We can use our keyboard, go and hit the right arrow, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So we have this well set now, you know, the 8 pixels grid, top, bottom, left and right. We can do some mathematical operations like this. 112 minus 16, and we have this. Now we change the color here, we select the two elements and we make a component just like this. And the name is wrong. We will call that chip, and the state is selected, right? There is no such a thing written in rock, written in stone. You can decide the name you want to use, but it's a good recommendation. Now we joined these atoms and we have one molecule like this. And we have states. Let's talk about states. We designed the selected one. I will duplicate because I will bring all of them to the right page in a few minutes. So let's do the second one, the unselect here, same family without icon. What we need to do is we have this one here, it's right. So this one here, this copy, this instance, we will detach. Then we will rename it. This one will be unselected, so we just need to type UN here. Then we need to have stroke. Let's use 2 to have things a little thicker, same color. We can pick up from here. We remove the fill. I just want to have the stroke. The text, it's gonna have the same color. I can pick up from here, select the 2 elements and make a component. So we have this unselected one. Then let's go ahead. I will duplicate this one, detach instance. The next one is gonna be selected disabled. I can select here, press I, pick up the color from here, select here this text, zoom in, pick up this color from here. It's a light gray. Then we need to rename. This one is selected disabled. So let's rename it. Selected disabled. Make a component. Just click in here. Awesome. And then the last one, detach. We can use the shortcut Ctrl Alt B. It's good too. So Ctrl Alt B. Things are done. This one is gonna be unselected disabled. Rename it. Then select here, pick up this color. If you have problems, you can zoom in, Ctrl plus, until you reach out this part. So select from here, and the text you can select here and pick up this color over here. Select this group and make a component. Now select all of them, press Ctrl X to cut. Come here in this component section. I will delete it here to do with you from scratch this part, even though it's easier, but let's do together. So select here these elements over here, make a copy just like this. The name will be chips. I want to delete this one, this checkbox, this checkbox, this checkbox too. If you want to watch the tutorial explaining how to create checkbox, go to my previous tutorial, right? Select both of them, and then we can lock. Clicking here and here. Control V, we have all our chips over here. Good. We can click here in this element, you know, and have more space. I will redo that when you select many elements. Let's suppose they are not well aligned, you know. When you move the mouse around like this, I click here to align by left, and if I move just a little this one here, I select all of them. When I move my mouse around, I will have this icon here, this blue one. I click here and I can see these little lines, right? I can click here and move to increase the space in between them. Cool. Now I will come back to the chip page. I have no element anymore. I can just come here, assets, and the way I organize the things, they will appear here. Chip or chips, I can rename to have things better, rather than I call chip. No, chip is okay. Yeah, chip's okay. So let's come back here to the chip page, then go to assets over here, open this chip section. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's drag and drop just one of them. Cool. Come back to the layers panel. Then we can select and swap the instance. Like I'm selecting the selected one. I can change to the selected disabled. I can change to the unselected, and I can change to the unselected disabled. So we have all these states. Good. So one component is done. So let's do the other one with icon, right? So I will come back to this state. Then I will drag my icon here to be really closer to that one I want to make. I will click here, right button. Then I can detach instance. Cool. And this one here, I want to call in a different way, like chip. I can have something like chip. Let's think a little about that. I can use in many ways. I'm trying to show you the easier way to build up that chip with icon selected. Okay, chip with icon selected. And now I will come back to my components, and then I will change their names, like chip without icon selected, something like this, you know. Chip without icon unselected, chip without icon selected disabled, and the last one, chip without icon unselected disabled. Okay, I come back to my chip page, and if I want to insert my components again, so now we have this chip with icon, right? And we can drag and drop again. We can change here, you know. We have here without icon for states: selected, disabled, unselected, and unselected disabled, working the same way. Now we have this one here, chip with icon selected. So I want to drag this little element here. Let's do this oval 16 by 16. So just press O and drag something like this. Pick up this color pressing I and pick up in the color from here. 16 by 16, just good. I will cut from here. I will select here this layer. As you know, we have a group, right? Inside of this group we have label and background. Select the background and then paste, and now this ellipse is inside of this group. If I move things around, I'm sorry, you know, they move together. This ellipse I will call background 2, right? So background or ellipse, perhaps it's better. Ellipse, yes. Then I will move to here. I will measure like we have 8 as top padding, 8 as bottom padding, and right padding too. Cool, but this element, you know, it's under our new element here. We can let things this way, it's not a problem. The problem is if we have a really bigger text, but it's not the case. In the future I will teach you how to build up components flexible, you know, but for a while let's concentrate on it. We could do something like press and hold Alt, we click here, we can diminish its size. Right now it's aligned with this element, so we have this label, it's like in the center, you know, and we have no problem with that. We select both of them, they are just good, you know, visually speaking, so that is no problem. But you could use like these, you know, aligning to here and using left, center, right, you know, you do experimentations to find out the better way. I will do this way for a while, you know. Now let's have this axis. To do that, it's pretty easier. Let's see its size, 8. Okay, cool. I will press P, press and hold Shift. I will click here and click here to have some line like this. Then press Ask. Cool. Press Ask again. Select this one. Increase the thickness. Select. Press Ctrl Shift O to transform, you know, in shape. It's not a line anymore. I can't edit that anymore. What we did, it's possible to do clicking. I use it undo. Now I can click here, right click, and I can go like outline stroke. Same thing. Press Ctrl D. Now Shift H. I duplicated and now I inverted. I will select both of them. I will click here and select Union Section. They are the same thing now. And now I can come here and call icon or something like this. The color is gonna be white and the size I will lock here, and I thought that was 8. I think so. Let's see. Yes, that's right, 8. And now I will select here, Ctrl X. I will click here in this group. I will select ellipse and I will press Ctrl V. You know, I just pasted inside of this group. Then I will move things around. I can select the ellipse, the icon, and centralize them. The ellipse I could call as well background, you know, you decide the better way to call that. We will have two backgrounds, the background for the icon and the background for the button. We can, you know, decide. You decide. Okay, we have this component now. We have this element. So let's select and transform in a component. Chip with icon selected. So now we have this component. Let's duplicate, right click, detach, do the same process. You know, we need to have this stroke, tool, blue, no fill, blue text, and here we can even remove. I don't know if that's a good idea, but let's try. I will delete here, selecting here, and then having this blue X. Okay, this one will be unselected. So I just need to change to add UN here, unselected, and I will make a component. Then I will duplicate this one, detach, select here, press I, select here, press I, pick up the color from here, select the label, pick up the same color here, select the icon, pick up the same color here. Okay, this one's gonna be selected, disabled. And make a component with that. And the last one, let's go there, duplicate, detach, and pick up the color from here, the X color from here. The name will be unselected, disabled. Cool. Components, pretty cool. Let's select all of them. See that icon I told you, just click here, Ctrl X, go to the components section, paste things here and organize them. Now we have chips with icon and without icon. Cool. So come back here, this section, name it chip, delete here, and then let's drag and drop. We have now these two inside of chips, you know, like button here. If you will open here, we have a button primary and button secondary. Same thing here, chip with icon and chip without icon. Drag and drop. We have this one with icon. If we open it here, we just change the states. Very easy. And we want to change to the chip without icon, we just click here, and we can see the same structure I showed before on the layer panel, you know, with icon and without icon. Just open here, boom, we change. Very easy, you know, and the states are all here. Of course that there are other ways to do components, you know, and then further I will ahead show you how to do that. But for a while I just want to concentrate in Android components, material design components. So we saw the states, right? We saw the atoms, we saw the molecules, we built up. Then we can let things here just for reference, things we did right together. So we have this one here, this one here, just for reference, and it's good too to verify if things we did, they are working well, and they are, you know. We could have like something next, 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 and next. Good. And let's select, drag and drop. When I do that, just to make that sure, I press and hold Alt, so when I move things around, I can copy them. Here I will select all of them. Let me think. No, I thought that I could do a bulk action, but I can't. Okay, select that one. I will just come here, with icon, and I have this one. And here, same thing. Just to demonstrate you, it's easier to change things because we have components. Oops. Cool. And the last one with icon. Okay, just to reference, let these elements here, we can put them closer. I don't know, let's see. Tie up like this. Yeah, okay, cool. And talking about atoms, just to reference, you can do that. You don't need to, but you can do, you know. To do that as reference to talk with the development team, we could like detach instance and ungroup things. I press Ctrl Shift G and I, oops, just once. Yeah. And then I can move things around, you know. I have this element, and I can sit down and I can talk to the developers and say, oh, see that we need to have this screen and it has to work this way, and so it's a good practice, you know, how things this way. For instance, yeah, why not? Just for reference. We can align like this. We can align like this too. And we go around. The molecules, they are pretty similar to the states, you know. Pretty much the same. They are together, you know. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead. We have the organisms. In this case, organisms, they are the same component elements. Let's think that we have like a family, right? They are organized together like this. And then finally we have this template. I showed you before, we can go to previous tutorials and you can copy things from there to speed up your design. You know, you don't need to draw things all the time from scratch, even though this sort of activity can be good to train, right? But when you want to speed up your process, your time, you can do things like this. Label, yes, this button, let's see, 272 by 35. 272, no, just a moment. 35, something like 35 doesn't seem right. Perhaps 32, and then 40. 40, it's a good one, right? 40, no matter. 40 by 40, yes, yeah, I could have something like this or this. 1, 2, minus 16, and minus 16 again. Yeah, cool. So we have the title. Let's drag and drop just one button, and we can swap like I said before. 40, cool. And we see the distance here 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 16, and here 40 by 40, perfect. And then we just need to swap here, you know. Components are great, I always will say that. Without icon selected, let's call this one item 1, cool. This one's gonna be item 2. Then I will make copies using the 8 pixels grid always. 16, 40, it's okay. Item 3, 4, I can select both of them and drag and drop like this. Then we have 5, then we have 6. We can do more copy. We are almost done here. 7 and 8, 7, 8, cool. We have this template we did together. And let's go to the last thing over here. We have this page with populated data. So we just type select the countries, cool. Let's say Brazil, my country, France, India, USA, Angola. It's duplicated over here. Spain, that can be Spain, Portugal, South Africa, cool. So we have the page. So let's see again, just to finish this tutorial. We did the states, right, together, then atoms, then molecules, then organisms, then, but here we could change, of course, you know that, right? We could just come here and with icon, you know, just this, and to have the same thing. Cool. Then we saw templates, and finally we finish it up with pages. Well, I hope that you appreciated this tutorial, and I really enjoy to do that, and for me it's a pleasure, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you like that, if those tutorials are being useful for you, please thumbs up to support the channel and the production. See you in the next one. Bye.